You've been letting the wrong damn people into your circle. You've been spilling your guts to parasites who smiled in your face while plotting to jack everything you got. You've been giving loyalty to folks who only saw you as a resource, a stepping stone, someone they could use and lose. And because of this BS, you've been bleeding out. You've wasted years building castles on quicksand, wondering why everything keeps crashing down, blaming yourself, thinking you just haven't loved hard enough or given enough. Yo, stop right there. The problem ain't your effort. The problem is your selection game is trash. You've been conditioned to believe that human connection is some kind of lottery, that love or friendship just happens if you're nice enough, if you smile enough, if you keep your head down and play it safe. Niccolò Machiavelli, the OG father of dark strategy, would be laughing his butt off at this nonsense. He knew that in the game of power and real talk, life is nothing but a game of power. Alliances aren't accidents. They're architectural necessities, straight up. If someone is truly meant for you, it doesn't mean the stars aligned or some cosmic fairy godmother waved a wand. It means their psychology lines up with your ambition. It means their shadow dances with yours without swallowing it whole. It means they're not just a lover or a homie, they're a force multiplier, someone who makes you 10 times more dangerous than you were alone. But yo, how do you spot these rare individuals in a world crawling with actors, narcissists, and straight-up energy vampires? How do you tell the difference between someone who genuinely wants you versus someone who wants what you can do for them? Machiavelli didn't waste ink writing about soulmates and fairy tales. He wrote about allies. He wrote about the rare few who can stand beside a king without trying to snatch his crown, who can handle power without losing their minds. Today, we're going to strip away all the romanticized BS you've been fed about connection. We're going to look at the cold, hard signs that someone is actually built to handle the weight of your life, built to carry their end of the rope. I'm going to show you how to identify the people who are biologically and psychologically wired to rise with you, not drag you down into the mud. But here's the warning, fam. Once you see these signs, once your eyes are really open, you're going to realize how empty your current circle actually is. You might find yourself standing alone in a room full of people. And honestly, that's exactly where we need to begin. Most people choose their partners and friends based on vibes, based on that dopamine hit, based on how good someone makes them feel in the moment. This is a fatal error, a rookie mistake that'll cost you everything. Feelings fluctuate like the stock market. Dopamine fades faster than a Snapchat story. If you build your entire life on a foundation of good vibes and warm fuzzies, you're building on water, bro. It's gonna collapse. Machiavelli argued that the only true bond worth a damn is one built on utility and respect. Now, the modern mind absolutely hates the word utility. We think it sounds cold, heartless, transactional. We think using people is evil. But let's dig deeper for a second. If a person adds zero value to your life, no emotional stability, no intellectual challenge, no strategic support, nothing, then why the hell are they there? They're dead weight dragging you to the bottom of the ocean. When we say someone is meant for you in a Machiavellian sense, we mean they possess what the OG called virtue, capability, strength, the ability to face the chaos of fortuna, which is fate, and not crumble like a house of cards. If you're a person of high value, or if you're grinding your way toward high value, you cannot afford to be chained to the weak. You cannot afford passengers on your ship. You need a second in command. You need a partner, a consort, an ally who operates at your frequency, who doesn't slow you down or hold you back. These are the signs, fam. They're subtle, they're quiet, and they will never ever appear in a person who's secretly plotting your downfall behind that fake smile. The first sign that someone is truly meant for you is that they straight up refuse to worship you. This sounds backwards. I know. Your ego wants to be worshipped like a god. Your ego craves the person who says, "You're right about everything. You're perfect. You're the best thing since sliced bread." That feels amazing. It feels like love, like validation, like someone finally gets you. But real talk, it's not love. It's manipulation, plain and simple. Machiavelli famously warned, there is no other way to guard yourself against flattery than by making people understand that telling you the truth will not tick you off. The sycophant, the user, the fake friend, they will always agree with you about everything. They'll validate your worst ideas, your dumbest decisions, because they want to keep you happy. They want to keep that resource tap flowing like a fountain. They're scared to death that if they challenge you, you'll cut them off, and they'll lose access to whatever you provide. Their agreement is basically a tax they pay to stay in your orbit, to keep feeding off your energy. But the person meant for you, the person who is truly aligned with your soul and your mission, they respect you way too much to lie to your face. They'll be the one to look you dead in the eye and say, "Yo, you're wrong. You're being emotional. You're wasting your potential on this BS." This stings like crazy. It feels like a personal attack, like they're hating on you. But notice the critical difference here. An enemy attacks you to lower your status, to bring you down to their level or below. A true ally challenges you to raise your standard, to level up and be better. When someone is meant for you, they act as a mirror, not a funhouse mirror that makes you look bigger and better than you are, but a flawless mirror that shows you the smudge on your face, the spinach in your teeth, so you can fix it before you walk out into the world and embarrass yourself. They protect your reputation by checking your behavior in private, behind closed doors. Think about the people around you right now, the people in your circle. Who are the ones who nod at everything you say like bobbleheads? Fire them. Mentally dismiss them from your inner circle. They're dangerous as hell. They'll watch you walk straight off a cliff just to avoid an awkward conversation, just to keep the peace and stay comfortable. Now think about the person who argues with you, not out of spite or malice, but out of pure logic and care. The person who forces you to sharpen your arguments, to think deeper, to defend your positions with actual evidence. The person who demands you be the version of yourself you claimed you wanted to be, not the lazy version you slip into when no one's watching. That friction? That's not incompatibility, bro. That's iron sharpening iron. That's how real growth happens. If you find someone who's not afraid of your anger, who's not scared when you get heated, keep them close. Lock them down. Because it means they value the truth more than they value your temporary approval or your mood in the moment. And in a world absolutely drowning in liars and yes men, that's the most expensive commodity in existence. We all have a public face, the mask we wear, the persona we project. You wear it at work, grinding and pretending everything's fine. You wear it on dates, trying to impress. You wear it just to survive in society. It's the smiling, competent, I've got everything under control version of you that the world sees. Most people only love your mask. They love the version of you that provides value, that entertains them, that looks good on their arm, or makes them look good by association. But beneath that carefully crafted mask lies the shadow, the insecurities you hide, the ancient traumas you carry, the bizarre intrusive thoughts, the moments of weakness where you just want to curl up in a ball and quit everything. Here's the brutal test that separates the real from the fake. Drop the mask. Let them see the real you. What do? The wrong people will recoil, like you just showed them something disgusting. They'll say things like, "You're being too much right now," or "Why are you acting like this?" They'll try to shame you back into the box, back into the comfortable persona they're used to, because your darkness inconveniences them. It makes them uncomfortable. They fell in love with the image, the projection, not the actual human being. When the image cracks and the real you bleeds through, their interest evaporates like morning dew. But the person meant for you, they don't flinch, not even a little bit. Machiavelli knew that human nature is inherently flawed, fickle, and prone to darkness. We all have demons. A strategic partner understands this truth. They're not looking for a saint or some perfect angel. They're looking for a real human being they can go to war with. Someone they can trust when the bullets start flying. When you show them your shadow, your anger, your fear, your coldness, the parts of you that scare even yourself, they don't run away screaming. They observe. They step closer instead of backing away. They look at your demons with recognition and they nod, as if to say, "Yo, I recognize these. I have them too. We're the same." This is what I call therapeutic darkness. It's the safety you find in the basement, not the balcony. If you can sit in a room with someone, tell them your darkest, most intrusive thought, the kind of thought that would get you canceled or judged harshly by society, and they simply look at you with understanding instead of horror, you found something incredibly rare. You found a sanctuary, a safe place to be completely yourself. But don't mistake this for trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is when you use each other's pain to stay stuck in dysfunction, to avoid growth and change. This is different. This is shadow integration. It's the ability to say, "I see the monster in you and I'm not afraid, because I know how to aim that monster at our enemies instead of at each other." If they try to fix you immediately, like you're some broken thing, they're arrogant. If they judge you for your darkness, they're weak. But if they accept the shadow and help you channel it into something productive, into fuel for your ambitions, that's an alliance. That's real power. If they try to fix you immediately, like you're some broken thing, they're arrogant. If they judge you for your darkness, they're weak. But if they accept the shadow and help you channel it into something productive, into fuel for your ambitions, that's an alliance. That's real power. Observe the dynamic you have with the people in your life. With most people, there's this frantic need to fill every silence. You talk about the weather, the news, gossip, drama, anything and everything to avoid the crushing weight of the quiet. Why is that? Because the silence reveals the lack of real connection. When two strangers sit in silence together, the anxiety is thick enough to cut with a knife. But when you're with the person meant for you, the silence is not empty at all. It's heavy. It's filled with unspoken data, with understanding. You're in a room, you're working on your laptop, they're reading a book. No words are spoken for 2-3 hours straight. Yet you feel completely connected to them. You feel their presence like a warm weight in the back of your mind, a comfort that doesn't need words. You're operating in parallel, like two processors running different tasks, but connected to the same network. This is what I call operational synchronization. Machiavelli observed that the best armies move as one organism. They don't need the general to scream every single instruction at them. They know the mission. They know the rhythm. They trust each other. In a relationship or a brotherhood, this manifests as nonverbal flow, as unspoken understanding. You catch eyes across a crowded room and you know exactly what they're thinking. Without a single word, you know they're bored out of their mind. You know they see the threat in the corner. You know they're ready to bounce. A micro-expression on their face communicates an entire paragraph of information to you instantly. This cannot be taught in a class. It cannot be forced through effort. It's a biological resonance, a frequency match. If you have to constantly explain your feelings, your motives, or your jokes to someone, they're not your person. You're speaking completely different languages. You're operating on different operating systems that aren't compatible. The right person downloads your state of mind instantly, like a wireless transfer. Think about the efficiency of that. In a crisis situation, you don't have precious time to explain what needs to happen. You need someone who moves when you move without hesitation. Someone who hands you the tool before you even ask for it. Someone who covers your blind spot without being told what to do. If you find someone who understands your silence better than most people understand your words, never let them go. Don't mess that up. That's not just chemistry or attraction. That's telepathy, born of survival, of shared experience. This is the simplest test in the world, yet somehow 90% of people fail to apply it consistently. After you spend an hour with this person, how do you actually feel? Not what you tell yourself you should feel, but what your body tells you. Do you feel drained, like you just ran a marathon? Do you feel like you need a nap to recover? Do you feel this subtle buzzing of anxiety in your chest? Or do you feel charged up? Do you feel clearer in your thinking? Do you feel ready to work, to create, to conquer? Most people are energy parasites. Straight up, they're what I call assholes. They constantly ask for advice, validation, attention, and time. But they never return it. They never give back. They're black holes in human form. They suck the light out of any room they enter. You leave interactions with them feeling lighter in the worst possible way. Hollowed out, depleted, running on empty. Machiavelli advised the prince to be stingy, to be careful with his resources. And your most finite resource isn't money or gold. It's energy. It's time. It's attention. The person meant for you is a generator, not a battery drain. When you interact with them, ideas flow faster through your mind. Your ambition sharpens like a blade. You feel this sense of capability, of possibility. It's as if their belief in you acts as a fuel source, as rocket fuel. This happens because there's zero friction in the interaction. You don't have to perform or put on a show. You don't have to walk on eggshells, watching every word. You don't have to filter your thoughts through 10 layers of political correctness. The energy you usually spend on managing the interaction, on being careful, is freed up to be used on building the empire, on creating value. Pay close attention to your body. Your body knows the truth before your mind does. If your stomach tightens when their name pops up on your phone, that's your instinct screaming, predator. That's your gut telling you, danger, stay away. If your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, and your mind clears when they're around you, that's your instinct saying, safety. That's your body saying, base, home, sanctuary. In the Machiavellian worldview, you cannot conquer the world if you're fighting a constant war in your own home. You need your private life to be boring and stable, so your public life can be exciting and risky. You need your inner circle to be a source of rest and recharge, not a source of endless drama and chaos. If they bring drama everywhere they go, if they thrive on chaos and conflict, if every single week there's a new crisis or emergency, cut the cord, walk away. They're addicted to cortisol, to stress hormones, and they will use you as their dealer to get their fix. The right person brings peace, not the boring peace of stagnation where nothing happens, but the active peace of a well-oiled machine humming along efficiently. Loyalty is a word thrown around carelessly by people who have never actually been tested by fire. Everyone is loyal when the sun is shining bright. Everyone is loyal when you're buying the drinks and picking up the tab. Everyone is loyal when you're winning and on top of the world. Machiavelli was cynical about loyalty for a damn good reason. He saw firsthand that people are ungrateful, fickle, cowardly, and greedy. He knew that most people will sell you out the moment the price is right or the pressure gets too intense. So how do you spot real loyalty versus fake loyalty? Real loyalty is not blind obedience like a trained dog. Real loyalty is shared risk. The person meant for you is the one who stays when the ship is taking on water and starting to sink. Not because they're stupid or can't see the danger, but because they have bet on you. They have tied their fate to yours. They're all in. This is the fortress concept. When the world attacks you, when the haters come for your neck, do they open the gate for the enemy to make it easier? Or do they pour boiling oil on them from the walls? Watch how they speak about you when you're not in the room. You'll never truly know this for certain, but you can infer it by how they speak to you about other people. Do they gossip about their best friends to you, spilling all their secrets? If they do, rest assured they're gossiping about you to those same friends. The strategic ally keeps your secrets locked in a vault. They defend your name even when it's unpopular to do so, even when it costs them something. But here's the nuance that most people miss. They defend you in public and correct you in private. If someone agrees with your enemies in public just to keep the peace, just to stay neutral, they're a coward. They're hedging their bets. They're preparing for your downfall so they can survive it and switch sides. The person meant for you stands back to back with you against the world. They understand that an attack on you is an attack on the unit, on the partnership. This is tribal. This is primal. It's us against the world, ride or die. If you don't feel that us against the world vibe, you don't have a real partner. You have a roommate. You have an acquaintance. You have a spy gathering intel. There are people who are comfortable with your mediocrity. In fact, they prefer it that way. If you stay average, you don't threaten them. If you stay broke, you don't make them feel bad about their own finances. If you stay out of shape, they don't have to feel guilty about skipping the gym. These people will subtly sabotage your growth at every turn. They'll say things like, "Why are you working so hard? Relax, bro. You've changed, man. Who do you think you are?" This is the crab bucket mentality. When one crab tries to escape the bucket, the others pull it back down. The person meant for you is terrified of your wasted potential. They see what you could become, and they're impatient for you to get there. They don't provoke you out of cruelty or jealousy. They provoke you out of vision, out of seeing something in you that you don't see yet. They're the catalyst for your transformation. When you tell them a small idea, they immediately ask, "Why not bigger? Why not 10 times that?" When you want to quit, when you're tired and beaten down, they remind you of who you really are. When you win, they celebrate with you. But then they ask, "What's next? What's the next mountain?" This can be exhausting if you're weak, if you're soft. But if you're an outlier, if you're a Machiavellian builder focused on empire, this is pure oxygen. They're not just a spectator in your life watching from the sidelines. They're an active participant in your evolution, in your growth. They challenge your intellect constantly. They send you books, articles, opportunities. They push you into rooms you didn't think you belonged in, rooms that make you uncomfortable. Why do they do this? Because they know that your rise is their rise. They understand that when you win, they win. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince who is not wise himself cannot be wisely counseled." This means you need people around you who are wise enough to push you forward, to challenge you. If you're the smartest, strongest, most ambitious person in your room, you're in the wrong room. Period. The person meant for you should intimidate you just a little bit. Their excellence should make you want to be better. to level up. If you look at your partner or your best friend and you don't feel any pressure to improve, you've settled. You've chosen comfort over conquest. Now, you might be looking at your life and realizing no one in your circle fits this description. Or worse, you might realize you've pushed these people away in the past because you weren't ready for the truth they brought. You might be thinking, I found someone like this once, but I lost them. Or, I have someone like this, but how do I keep them? How do I make sure they don't outgrow me and leave? Finding the right person is only the first step in this journey. Securing the alliance, maintaining it, making it bulletproof. That's an entirely different game. That requires a level of psychological warfare against your own ego that most people cannot survive. Machiavelli didn't just tell us how to spot an ally. He told us how to bind them to us permanently. He told us how to create a bond so strong that betrayal becomes mathematically impossible, economically stupid. In the next part, I'm going to show you the final signs, the most subtle and dangerous ones. And then I'm going to hand you the key to keeping them locked in. This is where we move from passive observation to active strategy. This is where we stop looking for signs and start building the empire brick by brick. Don't go anywhere. The deepest cut is yet to come. Watch their eyes when you win. This is the most dangerous test of all because it reveals the secret envy that rots most relationships from the inside out, like a cancer. When you announce a victory, a promotion, a new business launch, a physical transformation, whatever, most people will say the right words. Congratulations, bro. Wow, that's amazing. I'm happy for you, man. But look closer at the micro expressions, the tiny tells. Is there a flash of tightness in the jaw? Do they look down before they look up at you? Is there a split second of coldness before the fake smile is plastered on their face? Or do they immediately pivot the conversation back to themselves? Oh, that's cool. It reminds me of when That's amazing, but be careful. You know the economy is crashing, right? These are microaggressions. They're tiny daggers. They're subconscious signals that your rise makes them feel small, inadequate, threatened. They don't want you to fail catastrophically. That would be too obvious. But they want you to stay just slightly below them in the hierarchy. They want you to be the sidekick, the Robin to their Batman, not the hero of your own story. The person meant for you does not compete with you. Why? Because they're secure in their own power. They operate from a mindset of abundance, not scarcity. They understand that your victory doesn't steal from their plate. There's enough for everyone to eat. When you win, the right person feels a surge of adrenaline, as if they won themselves. This is a psychological concept called compersion, the opposite of jealousy. It's the ability to derive genuine pleasure from the success of an ally. If you tell them you just made a massive breakthrough, their eyes should light up like Christmas morning. They should lean in closer. They should want to know all the details, not to steal your playbook, but to savor the victory with you. If you feel like you have to dim your light around someone to avoid making them uncomfortable, you're in the presence of an enemy. You're dealing with a parasite who feeds on your mediocrity to feel better about themselves. Machiavelli knew that people are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. The jealous friend fears you. They fear you leaving them behind in the dust, and that fear will eventually transform into sabotage, into active attempts to hold you back. The ally meant for you pushes you into the spotlight because they know that when the king rises, the entire kingdom rises with him. Let's talk straight about the economics of the soul. Every relationship is a transaction. I don't care how romantic you want to be about it. I don't care about unconditional love and fairy tales. Unconditional love is for infants and dogs. Adult relationships are conditional. They depend on mutual value exchange. The final sign that someone is meant for you is that the ledger balances itself naturally, without you having to ask or keep score. With the wrong people, you're always the initiator. You send the first text, you plan the hangout, you buy the gift, you ask, "How are you doing?" You carry the entire emotional load of the relationship. If you stopped rowing, the boat would stop moving immediately. This creates a debt in the relationship that grows over time. You start to feel resentful. You start keeping score obsessively. I did this for them. Why won't they do this for me? When the person is right, the scorekeeping disappears completely. Why? Because the reciprocity is fluid and natural. One week, you might carry 80% of the load because they're in a crisis. The next week, they carry 80% because you're sick or struggling. You don't need a spreadsheet to track it because you trust their intent. You know deep down that they're not trying to extract value from you. They're trying to contribute value to the unit. This is the law of equivalent exchange. If you're always the one reaching out, making the effort, stop. Just stop completely. See what happens. If silence follows, if the void remains empty, you have your answer. The relationship was held together by your effort alone. It was artificial, one-sided. But if they notice the silence and fill it, if they come to you wondering what's up, that's the sign of a balanced equation. Machiavelli advised the prince to avoid being hated and to avoid being despised. Being despised comes from being weak. Being used constantly is a form of weakness that breeds contempt. The person meant for you respects your time and your resources as much as they respect their own. They don't play games with your attention. They don't leave you on read for 24 hours just to prove they're busy. That's childish nonsense. They value the connection, so they maintain the connection. It's that simple. Now let's assume you found this person. You've spotted all the signs, they challenge you, they protect your shadow, they balance the ledger. How do you keep them? Most people completely ruin these rare connections because they get lazy and complacent. They think, oh, we're soulmates, so I don't need to try anymore. I don't need to put in effort. Wrong. Dead wrong. Entropy is the law of the universe. Disorder increases over time automatically. Relationships decay if they're not actively maintained. If you want to keep a high-value ally, you must use Machiavellian strategy to bind them to you permanently. You don't want them to just like you. You want them to be unable to afford losing you. Here's how you secure the alliance. Machiavelli wrote, "Men love at their own pleasure, and fear at the pleasure of the prince." To translate this into relationship dynamics, you cannot control if they love you. Love is fickle and unreliable. But you can control how much they need you in their life. You must become a source of value that they cannot find anywhere else. This isn't about money or material things. It's about specific utility. Are you the only person who understands their complex mind? Are you the only person who can calm them down when they panic? Are you the one who organizes their chaotic thoughts? Are you the one who pushes them to be great? If you're just nice, you're replaceable. There are millions of nice people out there. But if you're the architect of their peace, or the strategist of their ambition, you become a drug they cannot quit. Identify their deepest need, the thing they struggle with most, and become the solution to that problem. Two people looking at each other will eventually get bored. Two people looking in the same direction can walk together forever. The strongest bonds are not purely emotional. They're teleological, based on a shared purpose. You need a third entity. You plus them equals the relationship, but you plus them plus the mission equals the empire. What are you building together? It could be a family. It could be a business. It could be a philosophy. It could be a literal house. If there's no shared project, the relationship becomes stagnant. It becomes a series of dinners and Netflix shows. That's a slow death. The person meant for you wants to build something. Give them a blueprint. Tell them, we're not just dating. We're building a life of freedom. We're not just friends. We're building a network of power. When you have a shared mission, minor arguments don't matter anymore. You don't break up over dirty dishes when you're conquering a city together. The mission anchors the bond. This is controversial, but it's true. A relationship without a tiny drop of fear is a dead relationship walking. I'm not talking about the fear of abuse. I'm talking about the healthy fear of loss. If they're 100% certain that you will never leave, no matter how badly they treat you, they will eventually treat you badly. It's human nature. We take for granted what is guaranteed. You must maintain the edge. You must continue to improve yourself. You must stay in shape. You must have other options, even if you never use them. You must have a life outside of them. They need to look at you and think, if I mess this up, someone else will take my spot. This keeps the desire alive. It keeps the respect high. Machiavelli said, it's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. In a relationship, the healthy version is, it's better to be respected than to be taken for granted. Never let yourself become a piece of furniture in their life. Remain a prize, something that must be earned every single day. We've spent this entire time talking about how to find the right person, but we need to turn the mirror around and face ourselves. If the perfect Machiavellian partner walked into your life today, would they recognize you as an equal? Or would they see a child? Would they see someone who's emotionally reactive? Would they see someone who's lazy? Would they see someone who's drowning in debt and drama? You attract what you are, not what you want. If you want a king, you cannot be a court jester. If you want a queen, you cannot be a peasant. The reason you haven't found them yet might not be because they don't exist. It might be because you're invisible to them. High-value people have a filter. They ignore the noise. They ignore the complainers. They ignore the victims. If you're constantly posting about how people suck and no one is loyal, you're broadcasting your own weakness. You're telling the world, I'm a victim. The person meant for you is looking for a victor, not a victim. So before you go hunting for this mythical connection, you must build the fortress within yourself first. You must kill your own neediness. You must build your own mission. When you do that, a strange thing happens. You stop chasing. And when you stop chasing desperately, you start attracting naturally. The signs I listed, you must embody them first. You must stop flattering people. You must endure their shadow. You must be the battery charger. You must be the vault. Be the person you're looking for. And then, inevitably, undeniably, they will appear. Not by magic, but by the law of resonance. Like calls to like. Finding the person meant for you is not the end of the movie. It's the beginning of the war. Life is difficult. It's tragic. It's unfair. Walking through it alone is possible. Machiavelli spent his final years in exile, alone with his books. But it's a cold existence. To find another human consciousness that vibrates at your frequency is the greatest strategic advantage you can possess. It turns a survival situation into a thriving empire. But remember this final warning. These people are rare. They're outliers. You might only meet 2 or 3 in your entire lifetime. If you have one right now, do not let your ego destroy the connection. Do not let your pettiness burn the bridge. Do not let your laziness rot the foundation. Guard that alliance with your life. because outside the walls of that fortress, it's a wilderness of ghosts and actors. If you're alone right now, do not despair. Use the solitude. Sharpen your mind. Build your value. Become so formidable that when you finally cross paths with them, they have no choice but to stop and say, "There you are. I've been looking for you." The signs will appear. The silence will speak volumes. The empire will rise, but only if you are awake enough to see it. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only the surface level. What I've shared here is the public doctrine. It's safe for the algorithm, but there are truths about human psychology, manipulation, and power dynamics that I simply cannot say here without being censored. There are techniques of influence that are too sharp for the general public. Those exist behind the join button. If you're tired of the sanitized, feel-good advice and you want the raw, unfiltered mechanics of human nature, click the join button and step into the architect level. You'll unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest, darkest parts of the psyche. Most people are happy living in the lie. You are not most people. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want the keys to the castle, join us inside. We are waiting.